you see here, all this furniture, first of all, is original from the time.
Wow.
Everything you needed, furniture, uniform, powder, food, transportation, you had to pay for yourself as an officer. On top of this, you also had to pay for your job. You had to purchase your job from the government, basically. So if you wanted to join the army at the ripe age of 13, you could do so at the rank of an ensign, which is sort of like the lowest rank you can be. That would at the time cost you £400. In today's Canadian money, that's about $80,000.
Oh,
So you purchase your position.
you did, yeah.
What you do is then, if you want to rise up in rank, you can sell that to somebody else. Here's my job. I want to get the next best one. Somebody's trying to sell me his. And basically, you get your £400 back. You pay the difference, another £100, and you're on your way. And all the way up to the rank of general, if you live long enough. Let's not forget, they're going to war. The 19th century, lots of diseases about. People didn't live that long. If you made it to the rank of a general, that would set you back 800,000 Canadian dollars today. This is the kind of money you wouldn't make as an officer. You had to have it in your family.
Yeah.
And how it worked at the time in the UK still a little bit, not as much as then, very hierarchical. So these people, if you've read Jane Austen, this is kind of like the level of society we're talking about, just under the aristocracy, lots and lots of money, manors, estates, tenants, woods, basically they owned all of England. If you had more than one son, and most people did, because if your oldest son dies, then you're going to have to give it to the girls, it's not happening. The oldest son would inherit everything. They didn't want to break it up. Oldest son gets everything, leaving the second son with nothing. So to join the army was a very honorable thing to do. You looked great in society, you're defending the country, you're going out, doing your thing. No shame attached to it at all. So that was the option for the second sons. The third sons, usually there would be no cash for them left, so they would usually join the Anglican church as a vicar, as a parish priest. Very different kind of living. You might make £400 in like 5 years if you're lucky. Whereas these guys had quite a lot more. At any time in history, there would have been between 20 and 40 officers here at Fort Malden. They had their own barracks building, which was just across where the palisade wall is now. And I want to just imagine, so you got, say, 20 guys. They're between 16 and 25. They're rich, they have a lot of money to spend, they're away from their families, they're bored out of their minds. What are they going to do? Drinking. There was a lot of drinking going on for the officers because they couldn't afford it. And the town of Amherstburg was very happy with that. They were very happy to supply all the alcohol that was needed for these guys. At the time, there would have been about 500 people living in Amherstburg, and they had 5 taverns. So 100 people per tavern, not a bad ratio. If we followed that in today's Amherstburg, there should be 250 bars in Amherstburg. There's still only 5 from the last I heard, so we have moved on quite a lot. But that's what they were doing. And if you know, you're already looking. If you know General Isaac Brock, who is sort of like our national hero for the War of 1812, he was killed in the Battle of Queenston Heights in 1812. And what they used to do is, if a general or an officer was killed, they would auction off his belongings and then send the money back to England to his family. So at the time he was killed, and obviously he wasn't planning on dying or hoarding stuff just for the image. No, this is what he had on that day, which was just a regular day in his life. He had 10 bottles of champagne, 48 bottles of claret, 45 bottles of sherry, 15 bottles of porter, 24 bottles of Quebec ale, 2 bottles of brandy, and 566 bottles of port.
Oh my God.
Just one guy.
Just one guy. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's a whole
That's my whole lifetime. I don't think I even had a quarter. Well, maybe a